Hello and welcome to another review of a film that I've seen on Mubi. This time I'm reviewing the film Breaking the Waves, directed by Lars von Trier. Now this is a typical von Trier film with a female character that goes through the most horrific torture. And I think your attitude towards this film will be determined by your general attitude towards von Trier. I've seen quite a few of his films and I really like his work. But I can completely understand people that don't like his work. He knows the line of bad taste and he knows how to cross it. For me, when he crosses that line of bad taste, he does it deliberately and he does it without losing the deeper meanings in his film or the poetry that exists in his film. I can completely understand that some people would not see it in the way that I see it, but I start off by saying that I love his films, and so that does condition the way that I judge this film. This film was made after the Dogma 95 manifesto, which I have a lot of respect for that manifesto and appreciate it. But this isn't actually a certified Dogma film. It's got elements of Dogma, I think, but it just feels a little bit too polished and produced to be a Dogma film. For example, it has musical segments that feel totally out of place, actually, with the general mood of the film. Almost too jolly and conventional. Very strange, actually. In some ways, that doesn't feel like von Trier. But on the other hand, when you view his films vary so much in terms of style and, I guess, genre, that it's not really surprising that he's always experimenting. That said, in terms of Dogma, I think the handheld camera in this film does give a kind of Dogma film. We're often close to the characters. It often feels like we're there, the camera's handheld. I really like the way this film is made, and the acting is amazing, especially Emily Watson, who plays the character Bess. Bess is a really vulnerable person, and she's clearly had some mental health issues, but she also has a simplicity and a beauty and a grace that really comes through for me, which is what gives the film really deep meaning. And Jan, her partner, is very different from her, but he does seem to genuinely appreciate her. All that said, it's a very dark view of the world, as is often the case in von Trier films. The community and the church leaders are absolutely awful, really judgmental and moralistic, and Bess is taken through this nightmare of abuse, really, and this distorted view of what God is when she thinks she's talking with God, but in fact she's, talking with that negative voice in her head that clearly is so conditioned by the extreme moralism that surrounds her. And even Jan turns bad in making her seek sex with other men. And, she's so kind of innocent and she approaches it enthusiastically, but never enjoys it. It really does seem like torture to her. Of course, it is. And it's not pleasant to watch, but that is von Trier for you. At one level, this is a really preposterous story. Do her prayers and do her actions actually result in Jan improving? There is, the way things happen in the film, there is a suggestion that this might be the case. Jan does in the end eventually recover, and all the prayers seem to work. But I think there's enough ambiguity about it. I think von Trier is playing with us a little bit. It's potentially preposterous as a story, but he's not necessarily presenting it as a factual story. Maybe I'm reading too much into this film, especially if you don't like von Trier. But I think that Bess is Christ-like in her innocence and beauty and suffering. And it reminded me very much of the donkey in O Hazard Balthazar. I often quote that film, but I do think there are some similarities here. The donkey suffers throughout that whole film, yet there is such a grace about that donkey. I really loved the ending of this film. The ending for me is really beautiful and meaningful. though I can appreciate that there is some ambiguity about it. At another level, it's preposterous. It's really strange as an ending. And I know that there are some people who believe that this ending is tongue-in-cheek and not serious, but I don't think so. I think it's sincere, even if it is preposterous. So I would recommend this film if you like Von Trier. If you don't like Von Trier, you're not going to like this film as with his other films. Next time I'm reviewing the film The Demons of Dorothy, directed by Alexis Langlois. See you next time.